on the show for 1,728 million times. Well, it hasn't been, but I wish it was. Please welcome Tim Harrison back to the show, everybody. We love Tim Harrison. Hey-ya-ho. Tim Harrison, don't stay away so long. Don't travel so much, buddy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Stay in the state a little bit.
God, we miss you when you're not around. We miss you when you can't reach you, too.
That's right. It's hard to catch me.
Yeah. So what's been going on, Tim? I know you've been doing all kinds of great things.
Well, the main thing is we can start off with, if I can show the video right off the bat, we were able to rescue 2 tigers here recently. One was a Massillon High School mascot. They get one every year, and they dispose of it after they're done. And that's been going on for over 50 years. So nobody knows where these tigers go. We were able to get this tiger cub. It's about a little under a year old. You'll see it up here in a minute. And it's one of those situations where, you know, we just had to do it. And then we also got another tiger. Now, that one's name is Elizabeth. We also got another tiger named Kayla, who came from a photo ops where you go around to the malls, get your picture taken with tigers to save the tiger in the wild. No, there's these tiger cubs every year that they breed, continually breed. They dispose of them after they're done, and most of them are put to death or sold to the Chinese market for their body parts.
So the first thing's a video.
Hopefully the first thing's a video.
And also I wanted to mention, I forgot to mention this, Ron, put all the pictures up on the big screen there, Ron, if you would. So this is the first video we're going to look at.
The first video should show the tiger.
You talking over the video?
Yeah, as soon as it comes on.
Okay.
But this is, right here is a beautiful shot of Elizabeth.
I mean, that is the word.
Tiger. And it's a sad part about it that there's 50 of these tiger cubs were used. Once they get to a certain size, nobody wants them anymore. They're disposable. And as you saw in the documentary, I'm in The Elephant in the Living Room. It's on Netflix and iTunes. They buy them by the hundreds. It's oversaturated the market, and they're just giving them away now. The next picture you're going to see here, we had a unique opportunity now. We need to build these guys, these young ladies.
Big screen there, Ron.
Yeah, there you go. We need to build these young ladies a place to stay. We need a cinder block building to build by the Ohio Division of Agriculture's new law, so we don't have a natural disaster. What you see here is a Japanese film crew from TV Tokyo. They came over and they actually, I've been turning down TV shows like by the hundreds now because nobody ever helps us. These guys stepped forward and said, we will pay to have this cinder building built for your tigers. So they came all the way from Tokyo to come over to film us. And go to the next picture here. You'll get to see the guy, the host is Mr. Takashi's What You Don't Learn in School is the name of the show translated. And that's Mr. Takashi there. And we're kind of going through the show here. We're getting the cinder blocks up at this hardware store. And we're going to get ready to take them down and show us how we build these buildings. Go to the next picture here, please. And you'll get to see, actually, there he is in the middle. He looks like a great big piece of candy. But he's a great big animated personality. It's so funny because they're very nice and quiet. It's the director and the star there, Mr. Takashi. It's so funny it's because I wasn't ready for their personalities that they have in Japan. As soon as they start the camera rolling, he gets about 2 inches from my face and goes, and he starts yelling at me. And I thought first kind of took me in shock. I thought what was going on. But the translator would talk over the camera what I needed to answer the questions back. And he asked me, what should we do? And can we go see the tigers? I said, sure, we can go see the tigers. So what we did was he said, what's the rules now when I get there? And I said, well, the rules of the tigers is that anything that goes in the cage is theirs. Everything that stays out of the cage is yours. So if your hands go in, I don't feel sorry for you. So he goes, and he yells at me again. And the translator says, what's he ask? He wants me to know if it's, what if I ever been attacked? I said, yes, just once. And he got up to my hand like this. He goes, and he starts yelling at my hand. I said, but I got better. But the whole thing is I want to make sure people understand that these not toys. Now, this is a picture of both the cats right here. That's Elizabeth and Kayla. We appreciate people that get on our Facebook, Outreach for Animals, too. Help us out because we're still got a lot more cats out there that need to be taken care of.
I know, Tim. I know you can't do it. But I just want to run up there like I do my cat and gum his ears and rub his forehead and kiss his fat cheeks like I do. But you can't do it.
No, you can't. You can do it to a certain age, but when they get to become a tiger,
as become a meal.
It's like Chris Rock said, the best big cat expert on the planet. Chris Rock said it perfectly. Tigers don't turn on you. Tigers turn tiger. And when Siegfried and Roy, when Roy was attacked on stage, that tiger went tiger, and that was the greatest tiger show ever put on stage because that's what a tiger's supposed to do. Look at a book; it's supposed to kill.
They said he was trying to protect him from his son or something. But I'm gonna ask Tim, and I'll get the real story. Okay,
well, that's just the last picture of them checking out things. Now, next picture going into, we're going to talk about National Geographic. I was in the April edition of National Geographic coming up here, and that's the cover of it there. Wild Pets. Got a little hedgehog on the front. I go to the next picture too there. In this magazine, they talked about people getting dangerous, exotic, and wild animals. This is my favorite shot. They used that as the fold-out shot, as the main middle of the magazine where they opened it up. That's Boo Boo the bear, if you remember. I was on your show with Boo Boo, and that's John over here. And that was a great shot. His name was Vic Musey. Vic Musey. Vince Musey, I'm sorry, the name is a photographer. He's from National Geographic. He's their top photographer. He takes almost all their covers. He took the cover also. We were sitting in the grass, and he goes, man, I need a shot. I need a shot to really pinpoint what we're doing. We're sitting in the grass, and we look over, and the Boo-Boo puts his paw against the cage, and then John puts his hand against it, and they didn't even know they got their picture taken. Oh, it was great. And go ahead to the next picture here. Now, this is a picture that you're going to see on the iPad, Kindle, and all the versions that you see, the electronic versions, if you want to still look it up, of our April 2014 National Geographic magazine. I didn't want to get my picture taken with the bears. I'm done doing that stuff. I didn't want to be posed with an animal. That's Jack Hanna, and that's what causes the problems. I decided to get my picture taken with a dog, and Vince took this picture, and this picture actually set me up to speak in Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Clemson College. People saw this. This is the first time somebody ever posed with their dog instead of with a tiger cub or something. And I told him, I said, you know, in the picture, when you look at the words next to it, says, you know, dogs and cats need homes. Leave the wild alone.
There you go.
And go ahead and hit the next picture here. And what you're going to see is a picture of Vince. That's Vince Musey on the right, and Eric, and that was in my house when we had done. He took a bunch of pictures of me for 3 days with alligators and bears, and we just sat down and discussed it. Vince says, I'm not hitting you, man. This isn't you posing with an animal. I said, no, it isn't. Let's get this other shot, and he's done very well with it. If you want to go to the last picture here, I want to throw this in here because you know I teach out in Texas for disasters at Disaster City. This was just last week in Los Angeles. That's the city of Los Angeles. There was an arson fire that happened in a 7-story wooden frame structure that they were building, took off for 5 blocks there. As you can see some of the pretty good sized buildings inside.
I saw it the morning on the news because I watched that.
And the guys that worked at it, the guys I work with out in Texas, they're the chiefs and everything from Los Angeles Fire, and they sent that picture and they said, Tim, you got to check this out because it almost looks like Godzilla should be walking across those buildings. It looks like that. When they put that fire out, by the time I left Texas teaching disasters, by the time that fire was put out, somebody had started another fire at the other end next to the skyscrapers in a 5-story building they were building, and it started coming the other way.
Big news that morning.
Yeah, it was horrible.
And they interviewed the fire chief, and he said because it spread so rapidly, it was arson.
Yeah, it was definitely
no
arson.
doubt.
And they couldn't end it with the chief, the actual chief that was there is a good friend of mine. That's just sent me the picture. He said when we drove up there, it was already engulfed. So that tells you right now it's arson. But I appreciate your salute to the firefighters. Nobody was hurt at the scene. That's what we're good about. No civilians and no firefighters and no law enforcement. But we teach out there that enhanced unified command, so everybody's working well together now across the country. But I wanted to show you that picture just because of we're always getting into something as a police officer and a firefighter.
When Don was walking by, I said, Don, come here, man. I want to show you something in the control room. I said, this is Tim Harrison. He likes to have really good barbecues, and it got a little out of hand.
Out of control.
When Tim throws a barbecue, he throws a barbecue. He fights the whole city.
That's right. But the one thing I want people to realize is that we can't save the world all at once. But in the process of doing this, I just got back from Clemson, where they had the Tigers for Tigers summit down there, and that's 17 different colleges that uses tigers emblems as mascots. So they call themselves Tigers for Tigers. So we got a whole bunch of young kids out there that I'm mentoring them right now, that they're coming across, and we're just kicking butt across the country right and across the world.
You do great work, Tim.
We're trying to. And you know, the whole thing with my outreach for animals, not 1 cent goes to anybody that works there. Not 1 cent. It'll go straight to the animals. Yep.
And basically volunteer.
It's all volunteer, yeah.
That's right.
All volunteer.
I was a little disappointed when I turned on the Discovery Channel. I thought that was you was going to be swallowed by the anaconda.
I got so many calls about that.
What a joke.
And the sad part about this is there was actually experts and people backing that, financing that. This should tell you all out there in the audience right now, we need to change the way TV programming is happening now. It's ridiculous. And the thing was that when the snake, when he started getting constricted, that's the first thing I said on a couple of radio shows. As soon as it starts to constrict him, he's going to give up.
He did.
Because I've been constricted by snake before, you know, you're going to give up, and he did. He gave up immediately. And it's one of those situations where there's no way that snake wasn't going to get hurt. If he can't swallow a human past the shoulders anyway. No anaconda, no python can swallow a person past the shoulders.
Sure.
So all they can do is potentially get your head in their mouth, and that's about it.
Especially with an iron head.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of Geraldo Rivera. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And for 2 hours, we're going to open up the safe. of Al Capone.
Al Capone, yep.
They opened up the safe after, well, I called Robin, told her to watch the snake thing. I said, well, don't watch the first hour and 45 minutes because all the action going to be the last 15 minutes, and it was.
Yeah.
But the last 5 minutes, they busted open, empty, nothing
totally
there.
empty.
What a bummer. But it's money, all
Oh, yeah.
money. And
Yeah, well, look at all the stuff. The crocodile, even from the crocodile hunter, I thought it couldn't get any worse than the crocodile hunter. You know, danger, danger, danger. Then we had the guy with the Kentucky going, and diving on snapping turtles. My 14-year-old niece can catch a snapping turtle. I don't know what this
Well,
clown's
it's a
doing.
big deal.
And yeah, what's the big deal about this? Everything's monsters and dangerous now. I don't understand that.
Well, you know, and I have told you this, and Robin has told you this, anytime something's going on, you know you always have an invitation to come on, because I know you're out of town a lot. So when you come into town, if I have the show booked, I'll cut out the first part and I'll have you on with my other guests, because what you do, I really believe in, and I think that's important. More important, this is worth this thing, because most of the people I tell this stuff to, they're never going to be on the Wheel of Fortune. But if they are, they owe me 50%. You agree with that?
I agree. That's
So
a good
anytime
percentage.
you're in town, just call myself or Robin and say, this is the time I'm going to be in town. And say, well, he's got a show so-and-so. That's the date you'll be on. And I'll have you on first and then keep the other guests too and get your stuff in, because what you do is very important.
Well, I appreciate it because I need to get it out to the state of Ohio. I don't mind doing Tokyo TV.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing French radio shows. That's what I do all the time overseas. Our documentary, The Elephant in the Living Room, is #1 in UK right now.
Yeah.
You know, in Ireland.
Great
but that
stuff.
does me not much good here in Ohio and the United States. That's where I need. This is where the problem is, and that's what I need more here. And I appreciate you having us
Well,
on.
you know, I told you, and Robin's told you, whenever you got something to talk about, you feel it's important, call us and she'll give you the dates, and you're here. It's said and
good.
done. Appreciate you being
Thanks,
here.
Rob.
You know, you're always welcome.
I appreciate that.
He's one of our armed forces and brothers. You were in the service, right?
No, my son was.
Oh, your son was in there. How's
I
he
was,
doing?
I was a police officer, firefighter.
Oh,
paramedic,
that's right,
yeah.
that's right. How's he doing?
He's doing pretty good. He's just got out to start helping the guys that are having problems, just like you have on your commercial for the soldiers that need help. He's helping with the development of programs to help those young men and women out.
And that's a very important
It
thing.
is very
We've
important.
got to take care of our men and women who they stand at a post, wherever they stand a post, and defend our country. It's working. That's what Vice
And then
President
every
said.
once in a while, relax and listen to some music.
And the first time I ever agreed with Vice President,
Biden?
no, I said Vice President. Did I say that? No, the other one, Republican, Cheney.
Cheney, oh,
First
yeah,
time I ever agreed with Cheney.
well,
I said, you go, Cheney. Well, I know him very well, so I call him Cheney. You may have to call him Cheney, but I call him Cheney. And that's the first time I ever agreed with him, but that's what I'm going to say.
Well, I've had the opportunity to meet him and also be the personal driver for Dennis Hastert, Speaker
There
of the
you
House for
go.
a period of time. They are regular people.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. They're very nice
That's
and regular
good to
people.
know.